This one here I caught earlier in the week. I don't even see, yeah, you can't even see him. I caught this one earlier in the week. He was 5 pounds, 22 inches. My daughter caught this one. This one is 6 pounds, 24 inches. And last night, one of my nephews caught this one. This is a pike, 29 inches, 4 pounds. And I caught this pike, which is 28 inches, and it was 3.5 pounds. And then we finished out our limit with these 3 bass here for yesterday. And we also, the day before, I got this nice yellow perch. So tomorrow we're going to be eating these fish here in the fish fry and these 2 pike. This bass, I will be filleting him up tonight and giving that to my daughter so that she can take it home and bake it, whatever she wants to do with her fish. But tomorrow I'll be giving her that. She just didn't know how to fillet a fish yet. I will be teaching her. Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from Northern Maine, the Rustic log cabin. Thank you for joining me here in my fish house today. This is the last week of ice fishing as far as this fish house is concerned. I'm going to fish every day between now and Sunday. And what's today? Today's Tuesday. So I've got about another 5 days worth of fishing, give or take. And then I'll be pulling this shack off the lake. But today we're talking about foundations, so I don't want to waste a whole lot of time. In the last video I left off with the diamond-shaped post. What I think outside of a foundation is probably the Cadillac to be able to set your cabin on. Is it easy? No. Is it hard work? Yes. You know, but sometimes getting the best or getting what I consider to be a Cadillac does take a little bit of time, energy, and money. So anyway, let's talk about these diamond-shaped posts some more. To get the very most out of these diamond-shaped posts, number one, you want them long enough to get below your frost line. In Southern Maine, I like to call the frost line 4 feet. It might not go down 4 feet, but you don't want it to go down below whatever you're setting on. So in Northern Maine, you want to put in them big ones, maybe 5 feet. Because I do believe up there that it would be very easily for the frost line to get down below 5 feet in certain areas. Or at least in the ballpark of 5 feet. So, but all that being said, you've got to think where you're building this cabin. And you've got to think, you know, in those terms. If you want to get everything below ground. Now let's talk about these diamond-shaped posts. The best way to place a diamond-shaped post is to dig your hole, and not necessarily with a piece of equipment. Think about it. A piece of equipment disturbs absolutely everything. Everything. It digs a great big hole, then you get in there and you drop this 4-foot diamond-shaped post in the ground, and then you backfill around it with a backhoe or whatever you're using to backfill around everything. You kind of already defeated your purpose by disturbing so much ground. Disturb as little ground as possible. Why? Because it's been packing for hundreds of years. If there's never been a cabin on there, how much more packing do you want to get? But anyways, I always dug them by hand. I used a 6-foot crowbar, one for putting in fence posts to break up the bottom or whatever. Dig your hole. Once you drop that thing in, that hole has to be big enough. Dig it a little bit bigger than what you need, because if you drop that thing in and it only goes halfway, it's almost impossible to get it out of the ground by hand. So keep that in mind. But why we're on this topic right here is, for me, the Cadillac of putting this diamond-shaped post in is to put a round cement pad in the bottom of the hole. If you can, one of the really big ones, or a big flat rock, something to set that thing on. I put in the 16-inch round cement pad and then set the diamond post on top of that. And that would put that thing down in the ground close to 5 feet. You know, because you don't need it sticking out of the ground. You know, you got to be sticking out of the ground enough where you can put a 6x6 pressure treated post on there. But otherwise than that, anything sticking out of the ground is kind of a waste, because you want to get down low enough to be below all of the frost. I got to close the window. The wind's starting to blow. And it's getting cold out there. I got traps behind you, so I got to keep an eye on them traps. So that's probably the best way that I think to put in that diamond-shaped post. And we got time, we got plenty of time. So I think I can wrap this one up right here, unless you guys have some questions in the comments and that I haven't covered. But the other super way to put a cabin in is on what's called a frost wall. It's not a foundation, but it's a frost wall. You get in there with a piece of equipment, you dig out a trench where you want your cabin, you put a footer down in the bottom. I liked wide footers, and I liked deep footers. You can get away with a 16-inch footer down there, but what does it hurt to go out a little bit more? It doesn't. So make it 20 inches. Make it 2 feet. And make it so that you've got at least 6 inches of concrete down there. Make your form out of 6 inches. Or a 2x8. That's not going to hurt you either. Then on top of that footer, my traps are spread out so far that I got to really pay attention to the last two. But on top of that footer, you can build a 4-foot form so that you can have 4 feet of concrete that comes up. So that puts your footer down at probably 5 feet. You got a 4-foot concrete wall, and you fill up the center with gravel. You put some drainage around the outside, fill up the outside with gravel, and now you can build your cabin on this frost wall. And to me, that's the Cadillac also, as far as next to a foundation. Anything that you can get that will support your cabin for many, many years, that's one of the best ones. Foundation's the best one. After that would be your diamond post. After that would be your 24-inch round pads. If you're in an area where everything's being trucked in by snowmobile or with a four-wheeler, then the 16-inch pads, not the best, but they will work, especially on the size of the cabin. But while we're talking about 16-inch pads, a lot of people like to go with a 16-inch pad, even on a big cabin. Stay away from that. Avoid that. Yes, they're cheaper. Yes, they are lighter to move around, but they don't hold up. They'll always tip on you. You'll spend more time in the future jacking and leveling your cabin than you need to. So stay away from those. I don't care how many people tell you that that's a perfect way to go. It's not. It's yes, they sell a lot of them, but they sell a lot because they're light and they are cheap. I did have a viewer, and he had a really good idea. They get those blue drums. This is Stacy. Where is he? Idaho. I believe he's from Idaho. But anyways, he's a builder out there too. And he was talking about using the blue drums. You cut circles out of those, and that makes a good form. So if you're in an area where you want to build your own form and pour these round cement pads, you can do that with the blue plastic drum. You can cut it on a table saw. It's tables, you know, set your rip fence up and just spin that thing right around, and you'll have a nice form. Or use a skill saw, whatever. All that stuff cuts really easy. So that's another way. If you're building an off-grid cabin, that's another way to get a really decent pad in on the pad site, especially if you're in an area, you know, like Beaver Creek, where you're going in with a 6-wheeler. So something to think about. I'm going to end this here. Like I said, I think this will cover all of the foundation stuff, unless a question comes in or something like that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If it's a question comment, I'm going to answer that one first, because most of the question comments are coming from someone that's dealing with renovating a cabin or getting ready to bring a cabin back. So anyways, have your coffee. Thank you for joining me here in the fish house. It's time for me now to fire up the heater. I've got some chicken. I brought some leftover chicken out today. And I also got a cup of soup. So I'm going to fire up the heater, get that stuff warming up, keep an eye on the flags, and I will see you next week. Thank you.